After almost making the All-Star team, Alex Gordon's second half is looking even better. As a leadoff hitter, his on-base percentage is above 400, and he scored at least one run in his last 9 games. The Royals will need more of that against the first-place Tigers next on Fox Sports Kansas City. The Royals youth movement has taken another step forward as Johnny Giavotella arrives to Kauffman Stadium on a Friday night with the first-place Detroit Tigers in town for a 3-game series. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Kauffman Stadium. I'm Ryan Lefebvre with Royals Hall of Famer Frank White, and it seems that this year, every time the Royals bring up a young player, they're hoping for a lift from that young player. Now, Frank, here's Johnny Giavotella coming up with the Royals playing very well.
They're playing well, and they're excited mainly, Ryan, because these guys all play together in the minor leagues. You look at Hosmer, Moustakas, Giavotella, and a lot of those young guys in the bullpen, so they saw themselves being in this position this year, and if not, early next year. But all of them being here at this point in the season, that's where the excitement's coming from.
And right after the Royals came out of the All-Star break, they lost 3 out of 4 to the Minnesota Twins, but since then, they've been on a nice run. 5 consecutive series, they have either tied a series, that was 4 games against Boston, or they've won 4 series against the White Sox, the Rays, the Indians, and the Orioles, with the offense leading the way, and not just with hits, but extra base hits, and hoping tonight to give Felipe Paulino some run support.
Well, he definitely needs some run support, and he was looking last night, hoping the Royals will save something for tonight, but he pitched a great game his last time out, really pounded the strike zone, got through some early innings, and he didn't allow a run.
And he's facing a lineup tonight with some good veteran hitters. Victor Martinez is 4th in the league in hitting. Miguel Cabrera is 7th in the league in hitting, but not because of what they've done against the Royals. They pitched those two guys very well. Cabrera hitting .219, and Martinez his lowest average against any American League team at .212. On the flip side, Melky Cabrera is having a good season, and some of that has to do with his work against Rick Porcello. He is 5 out of 8 against Porcello. We'll talk about a familiar face that's back in town when we come back. play, students win. Wilson Betemit is back in town with the Detroit Tigers, and because of what he's done with the Royals the past 2 years, at the trading deadline this year, Frank, a contending team wanted him.
I think a lot of that with Wilson Betemit is the fact that he did play well here, and the Tigers saw him and said, look, we need a third baseman, and he went from last place to first place, and he's got to be excited coming back here with the first place Tigers.
And we'll see where he bats now in the Tigers lineup against Felipe Paulino.
Got Austin Jackson will be leading this team off, and you got Brendan Bosch, Miguel Ordonez, Miguel Cabrera, and Victor Martinez. That's the top five. And Johnny Peralta's having a good year, and Wilson Betemit will be batting ninth in this lineup.
And a look at the Royals defensively behind Paulino.
When you look at this good outfield for the Royals, that's going to always be consistent, and the Royals are starting to infield with 24 years or younger with Johnny Giavotella coming up today. Manny Pena will be behind the plate, catching Felipe Paulino tonight.
And the designated hitter is Billy Butler, who has a 10-game hitting streak. He had 7 RBIs in the Baltimore series. Can he keep that going? Well, he has a .320 career average against Rick Porcello. It's the Royals and the Tigers, and the first pitch is next. High Definition, brought to you by Time Warner Cable. Get no-fee HD with digital TV from Time Warner Cable. Out to left field, and let's welcome in Joel Goldberg.
All right, Ryan, thank you very much. Manny Pena wanted to point out to me that there are 7 Venezuelans between both of these teams in the starting lineups tonight, and he includes Felipe Paulino in that mix because, as Paulino has told us before, he was born in the Dominican but raised and spent almost his whole life in Venezuela. So as they were walking in before, you get a look at a Venezuelan battery. Interesting that they really don't know each other very well, and Manny telling me that he watched video of Felipe earlier today. They talked, they game planned against the Tigers, but he really wouldn't know too much about Paulino until he caught him in the bullpen warming up. That just happened. Now they're ready to retire fellow Venezuelans like Cabrera, Ordonez, Guillen, and Martinez. Guys?
And with Johnny Giavotella at second base, making his big league debut. And by the way, Giavotella, 24 years old. The Royals just called up the oldest member of their infield. Austin Jackson jumps on the first pitch and into deep right center field and off the wall. And Jackson is going to try for 3. Escobar spikes his throw, and Jackson is safe.
Jackson looking for first pitch fastball, jumps all over Paulino's first pitch fastball and drives it into right center field. Got good extension on that swing. Now this is where Cabrera does a good job of playing it off the wall and did a great job getting it back into Alcides, but Alcides' Alcides' throw to third base. Well, it bounced. Without a bounce, he had him out easily.
So 1 pitch into the game, and the Tigers have a runner at third with nobody out for Brennan Bosch.
Well, it really wasn't a good play by Jackson, really stretching that, trying to stretch that double into a triple right there, because you don't want to make the first and last out at third base, and that could have easily been nobody on third and 1 out.
1-1 on Bosch, a .293 hitter. Last year he had a great first half, a very poor second half, but he's had a good second half so far, and batting second. Seems like every time we play the Tigers, Bosch is somewhere different in the lineup. Trying to get Jackson in from third in the first inning. Two balls, 1 strike. Tigers come to town after completing a 4-3 homestand against the Angels and the Rangers. Jim Leyland's team just took 2 out of 3 from the Texas Rangers, and they have a 3-game lead in the Central Division. As Bosch hits it off of Hosmer's glove and down into the right field corner. And now Bosch is thinking about 3. Giavotella, who has a strong arm, his throw comes in late. Back-to-back triples, and the Tigers lead 1-0.
Brennan Bosch picks on a cutter from Felipe Paulino and hits it right off the tip of Eric Hosmer's glove down into the right field corner. And Bosch, a big guy, runs a lot faster than you think he does, and he had no thoughts of stopping at second base. Giavotella makes a strong relay throw, but he beats it just by a little bit. The reason that cutter stayed up, and Bosch was able to take advantage of it and hit a line drive down in the corner.
And now breaking ball is up, and ball 1 to Maglio Ordonez. So this would be a good sign for Jim Leyland after the Tigers lost to the Rangers last night. He emphasized the importance of this series with the Royals and hoping that his team wouldn't look forward to the next series, which is 3 games against Cleveland. And Cleveland is in second place in the Central. Maglio Ordonez batting just .236. Chases a slider down and away. 2 balls and 1 strike.
Well, the Royals are going to play the infield back in this situation and try to prevent a really big inning, and all the guys are back in the middle. And it gives all Ordonez has to do is hit a ground ball, but this is just a setup to keep that big inning off of you.
And he gets a fly ball into right field. So Bosch tags, and the Tigers get 2 in the first inning. Here's a key report on Felipe Paulino, making his 11th start, 1-4 since joining the Royals. Just 17 walks in 67 innings. So he's been a good strike thrower since coming over from Colorado. Run support always an issue for him. 6 scoreless innings on Saturday against Cleveland. And he struck out the side in the first inning, so a completely different start for him tonight. He has gotten 4 runs of support in his last 3 starts. And how about this? Less than 2 runs of support in more than half of his major league starts. So all of a sudden, Jeff Francis doesn't look like a bad luck dude anymore.
That's an astounding number, and Paulino, to his credit, he goes out and continues to battle and hope that he can get that game where the Royals can get out to a 7-run lead and let him pitch comfortably, but he doesn't know what that feels like.
Miguel Cabrera, 7th in the league in hitting, but batting just .219 against the Royals this year. That is quite a switch. Normally he just wears out the Royals. Paulino running it up there at 98 miles an hour. 2 balls and 2 strikes. And Giavotella gets a chance in the first inning, flips it over to Hosmer as he did the first month of the season at Omaha, and there are 2 down. 89 degrees for the second straight night. We started right on time at 7:10, and the time and temp is brought to you by the parking spot. Easy to spot, easy to park. The parking spot at KCA. And this was really a first day of relief in Kansas City for a long time. Rain all this morning, thunderstorms blowing through. Everybody got some free water on their brown lawn, and cloud cover for most of the day. Now that cloud cover is starting to break up, and a little bit of sunshine for the beginning of this game. Victor Martinez, just like Miguel Cabrera, has had a good year, but not against the Royals. That .322 batting average is 4th best in the league, but he has his lowest average against any American League club against the Royals, batting just .212, and in the hole, no balls and 2 strikes.
You know, right now, that's one reason Jim Leyland didn't want his team to come here to take the Royals lightly, because they do have good enough pitching to shut them down, and they haven't come in and just scored a ton of runs here either. And I think that you overlook the Royals, which I don't think they'll let you do, because they've been playing so aggressively, and they bring the game to you now. They don't wait for you to bring the game to them.
Still no balls, 2 strikes. Tigers just 7 games above 500, and I say just 7 because I think most people would agree they should have a better record than what they have. In the second half, just 10-9. The Royals are 11-9 in the second half. Over the inside corner. Back-to-back triples lead to 2 runs for the Tigers in the first. He's going to lose a lot of playing time in the last month and a half or so of the season, but Getz has been right next to Giavotella ever since he got here today and trying to help him with a smooth transition to the big leagues. Here's the Royals batting order tonight.
Well, Alex Gordon, hot hitting Alex Gordon, to be leading this off for the Royals, followed by Cabrera, Butler, Hosmer, and Francoeur. Johnny Giavotella is batting 6th in this lineup. Manny Pena will be back in there again, batting 9th.
And for the 3rd time this year, the Royals face Rick Porcello. Porcello has won 1 and lost 1 against KC. He's 11-6 overall. That's the 5th most wins in the American League. Throws a lot of strikes, only 30 walks in 116 innings. Got off to a slow start, ERA over 5 in his first 15 starts, but he was perfect in the month of July. He was 5-0 Not a big innings guy, however. Only going about 5 2/3 innings per start this year. How about going 5-0 in the month of July, and you're not even your own team's pitcher of the month?
Get a lot of runs. They score a lot of runs for Porcello. You got a guy like Justin Verlander sitting over there next to you. He's going to get a whole lot of attention.
Alex has hit in 6 in a row. He had 8 hits in the Baltimore series, including 7 in the last 2 games. Had a 4-hit game last night. He scored 5 runs in the series. And he has scored at least 1 run now in 9 straight games. Guillen back from the disabled list, throws from the outfield grass. And it's been a rare occasion lately with Alex Gordon being out in the first inning. Here are the Tigers defensively.
Austin Jackson is in center field. Maglio Ordonez got 6 assists in right field. And you got Johnny Peralta having a great year at shortstop. And Carlos Guillen back in at second. And Rick Porcello is being caught by Alex Avila tonight.
22-year-old Rick Porcello. Below the knees, ball 1 to Melky Cabrera. 5 out of 8 against Porcello. Melky batting at .304. Two and 0. Two balls, 1 strike. Melky's been batting second almost all year for the Royals. Be interesting if Giavotella starts to hit. He has been mostly a number 2 hitter in his professional career, prototypical number 2 hitter. Throw is wide and Cabrera is out. Thanks to a fantastic play by the other Cabrera, Miguel Cabrera, handling a bad throw from Johnny Peralta.
Peralta had to rush this, but a big guy at first base, but pretty agile, and he does a great job of keeping that toe on the bag and making that lunging catch to his right. That's pretty good agility for a guy that size at first base.
So Porcello, the sinker ball pitcher, has 2 ground ball outs, and now he gets Billy Butler with 2 down and nobody on, and that's good news if you're facing the Royals right now, is facing Billy Butler with nobody on. 7 RBIs in the 3-game series with the Orioles. No balls, 2 strikes. Billy has hit in 10 in a row, and he has his overall batting average up to .297. One ball, 2 strikes. Rick Porcello was the Tigers' first-round pick in '07, and 2 years later, he was in the big leagues at the age of 20. He was in a contending team's starting rotation at the age of 20, and he won 14 games in 2009. There's another ground ball. Peralta backhands a long throw. This one is on target, and Porcello gets 3 ground ball outs in the first inning. The nation's fastest mobile broadband network. By Panera Bread Catering. Order online at PaneraKansas.com. And by Chevy's, your Kansas City area Chevy dealers. Detroit Tigers coming out swinging tonight, and it's Peralta going after the first pitch to begin the second inning. He flies out to Jeff Francoeur. First pitch of the game, Austin Jackson hit into right center field for a triple. Then Brennan Bosch hit a triple after a Maglio Ordonez sac fly. 3 batters into it, the Tigers had a 2-0 lead.
Well, I think the game plan for each pitcher is kind of formed before the game. When you go over to the scouting report on the pitcher, you try to figure out, okay, what's he like to throw? Does he like to get his fastball over early? Does he like to get breaking balls over early? And then they come up with a game plan going into the game. And against Felipe Paulino, it looks like they want to try to catch him trying to establish his fastball.
Fouled away by Guillen. A very late swing on a fastball. Guillen playing in just his 17th game. He had knee surgery last year. Left knee surgery, the microfracture knee surgery. So that takes a little extra healing time. And Guillen with that low line drive into the seats off to the third base side. He is shaken up as it appears the line drive hit a fan. One ball and 2 strikes. And it's very difficult for a major league hitter not to take that personally. I mean, because that is not a good swing. That is not a swing of a guy who's been around like Carlos Guillen. And to see a line drive like that go into the seats and hit somebody, it's not very easy to flip a switch and get back into game mode.
Well, that's true. A lot of guys, when we played, Ryan, what we tried to do was not follow the ball. When you hit that ball like that, low liner, you know it's got the potential to hit someone in the stand, so you try not to track that ball, and you just pray that it doesn't hit anyone.
Melky Cabrera hardly had to move on that fly ball. So Guillen is out, 2 down in the second inning. Tomorrow at Kauffman Stadium, we're going to celebrate Armed Forces Day, and there'll be a special pregame ceremony and flyover honoring our servicemen and women before the Royals take on the Tigers at 6:10. For more information, visit Royals.com/Armed Forces Day. It's also the This One's For You broadcast, and we'll give you more details on that later tonight. By the way, it appears that the fan that was hit by the Guillen line drive is okay. It's always quite a shock for the fans in the surrounding area when someone is hit by a line drive that hard, but it appears that it's not an emergency, and everyone in that area is back to watching the game. Alex Avila, in just his second full season in the big leagues, was an all-star. All-star starter. Batting at .285 with 12 home runs. And that is line foul off the left field line. Interesting thing about Avila making it to the All-Star game as a starter so fast. Wasn't that long ago. He was just learning how to be a catcher. Didn't start catching full time until his senior season at the University of Alabama, which, by the way, was just 3 years ago. Molino strikes him out. A much better second inning after giving up 2 in the first. second inning. Johnny Giavotella will have his first major league at bat in this inning. In our sprint you call it question for tonight, which rookie will have the best overall night? Eric Hosmer batting cleanup. Johnny Giavotella batting 6th. Mike Moustakas, who missed the last 2 games, working with Kevin Seitzer, batting 7th. Or Manny Pena, who has 2 doubles among his 3 big league hits. He will be batting 9th. Text 432-432. Enter keyword Royals, a space, then A, B, C, or D. Here's the first of those rookies, and Eric Hosmer with a frightening swing, whether he makes contact or not. Hosmer 3 out of 11 against the Orioles. Also mixed in a couple of walks, and 2 of those hits were doubles. Porcello's ahead, no balls, 2 strikes. What do you think, Frank? Which rookie is going to have the best night overall?
Well, it's hard not to go with the most experience, and Eric Hosmer definitely has the most experience of all the rookies in the game tonight. So I'm going to stay with Eric Hosmer.
Hosmer, by the way, has something to prove against the Tigers. He's just 2 out of 23 in 2 series against Detroit. And Porcello, taking something off the pitch, strikes him out. So 3 ground ball outs and now a strikeout for Porcello. Which rookie will have the best overall night? So send in your text, and when you do, you'll get a bounce back text message with instructions as to how you can register for a suite for you and 11 guests to a future Royals game. So 1 out to Jeff Francoeur, who takes ball 1. Let's check in with Joel. Joel, what do you think?
I'm going to go with Johnny Giavotella. Let's go with the good story of the night. His family is here. He's got friends here that have come in from Louisiana. So I say the kid making his major league debut gets it done.
Well, he will do so with a man on base, as Francoeur has a 1-out single. And as Giavotella comes to the plate, let's get a little more on him, Joel.
Johnny Giavotella, guys, stepping up to the big ovation at Kauffman Stadium. And, of course, this may be new for him, but he's got a lot of familiar faces around with all of these rookies on the Royals. And 2 of his best buddies in all of baseball are Eric Hosmer and Mike Moustakas. There's a good chance the 3 of them could end up rooming together. Eric Hosmer telling me that when you look at the success of some of these guys in the minor leagues, the success of Moose, the success that Eric Hosmer had, the success of Clint Robinson, said the guy that was behind all of that was Johnny Giavotella. You mentioned it before, Ryan. Gio was batting 2nd most of these places. He's the guy that was getting on base. He's the guy that was scoring the runs, and he's the guy that's led them to championships and playoffs at every single level. Guys?
And productive as a number 2 hitter. Do you see that? 72 RBIs.
Big numbers.
Hits it on the ground to Guillen. Well, he will ground into a double play in his first major league at bat, but there are many, many more to come. more, visit kia.com. Tigers with a 2-0 lead, and they're coming up in the third inning as Wilson Betemit is introduced. Batted mostly 5th, 6th, and 7th for the Royals. But with the Tigers, he is batting 9th. He has hit .270 in 11 games with Detroit since the trade. He has 1 home run. No balls and 2 strikes. And when the Tigers acquired Wilson Betemit from the Royals, they designated Brandon Inge for assignment. And Inge eventually accepted a minor league assignment.
Well, they say he really wants to try to come back, and that's why he took that assignment. And he's a guy that they really could use in September. Even if not swinging the bat well, he's a good defensive replacement. You know, that infield they don't have a lot of range, and they got to make the routine plays, so it's nice to have somebody that can move around a little bit.
The Royals and Fox Sports Kansas City present our 3rd University Day game with K-State Day. That's at Kauffman Stadium August 21st. All Wildcats fans are invited to take advantage of special ticket prices and join us for special pregame activities. Go to Royals.com/K-State for more information. Austin Jackson swinging at the first pitch of the game and tripled off the wall in right center field, and then Brennan Bosch tripled to get him home. He went around, no balls and 2 strikes. So get the record books out, and I'm sure we'll find out, if not by tonight, by tomorrow morning. When was the last time a game started with back-to-back triples? Backhanded by Escobar. Off balance throw is high. And Jackson is tagged out by Hosmer. With an assist to the netting in front of the dugout suite.
Well, that netting always throws the ball back to the infield, so first base coaches all know this. Alcides never did get a good handle on this throw, and Hosmer couldn't help him at all. And the ball went ahead of Jackson by quite a bit, so he was able to see the ball, but his mind had already committed himself to second base. And you can see how that netting threw the ball all the way back to first base, and that's one of the disadvantages of an overthrow at first base, especially when you're the runner. You think you got an easy trip to second base, and it's not the case here in Kauffman Stadium.
Ball 1-2. Brennan Bosch, his triple was into the right field corner, driving in Jackson, and then he scored on Maglio Ordonez's sac fly. And now Paulino has retired 8 in a row. Completely different start for Paulino tonight compared to his last start. On Saturday at Cleveland, he struck out the side in the first inning. Had great stuff right away. And the Indians didn't end up with a base hit until 1 out in the 5th. Big bounce to Hosmer. He'll go to the bag, and it is a 9-pitch third inning for Paulino. years ago and began volunteering with the Joplin School's Bright Futures program. She took her commitment to another level after the devastating tornado on May the 22nd, and thanks to her efforts, all 7,000 plus Joplin students will have a new backpack filled with supplies when school begins on August 17th. Thanks to the Adopt an Eagle program, and she is sitting in the Buck O'Neill Legacy seat at tonight's game. Mike Moustakas, who got Wednesday and last night off against the Orioles to work on his swing with Kevin Seitzer, back in the lineup tonight. Down 1 ball, 2 strikes. We remind you to look for the Miller Lite Taste Greatness moment later in tonight's game. And will it be one of the rookies? Moustakas at third, Giavotella at second, Hosmer at first, Pena behind the plate. Moustakas down on 4 pitches, and for Porcello, his second strikeout. Porcello, he had to make his pitches, but he was aided quite a bit by Moustakas swinging at 2 pitches that weren't strikes.
I just want to take a look at this at bat by Moustakas. He wants to try to keep that front shoulder closed and stay back and don't drift, and that's what they're working on. He had 2 fastballs away right there. That's a fastball inside, and kind of tells you that he still might be thinking a little more than swinging right there. So you just don't want to take all your practice work into the game. You got to forget about it and just play the game and then go back to the drawing board when the game is over.
Escobar, 4 hits in the Orioles series and had a big 2-run triple in the win on Wednesday night. And Jackson with great speed. He is Gold Glove caliber, as is Escobar. And Jackson makes the play for the second out. And now Porcello will get Manny Pena. Third straight start for Manny Pena.
Well, Ned Yost likes to get these guys in the game. He's going to find out right away what they've got, and I think that's a good thing. You got time to do it, so you might as well do it. And you know, Brian's played a lot, and Matt Trainor's played a lot, so it'll be a good break for those guys to kind of sit back and see things for a while themselves. They've been run over by semi-trucks all year, so they could probably use a few days to kind of come back together.
And that's called a strike. 0-2 on Pena. But it doesn't mean he can't improve as a player. The Royals have a pretty good feel for what type of player Brian Pena is at this point. They don't know how Manny Pena will play at this level, and there's only one way to find out.
Just get him in there and let him go. And I mean, he was a guy that they traded for. They liked him a lot. The catch and throw guy. And, you know, I think that when you got those kind of catchers, you got to find out about your catchers, and going forward next year, that's going to be a huge decision for the Royals to have to make.
Slider away, strikes him out, and that's 3 strikeouts for Porcello. He has faced the minimum. Time Warner Cable, up to 50 megabits per second of pure online power. Felipe Paulino up to 98 in his first 3 innings. He's down 2-0, giving up both of his runs in the first. Back-to-back triples and then a sac fly from Maglia Ordonez, and he leads off and fouls the first pitch away. So Paulino, after the back-to-back triples, he has retired the last 9. In for a strike. 0-2 with Miguel Cabrera on deck, and then Victor Martinez. Down goes Ordonez. Doesn't agree with home plate umpire Bruce Dreckman. Looked pretty good on Fox Tracks. And he has a few words for Dreckman as he heads back to the dugout. It's Family Fun Day Sunday. It's coming up the day after tomorrow, a 110 game with the Tigers. And the first 8,000 kids aged 14 and under will receive a Royals batting helmet presented by Chevrolet. Busted bat in half. Giavotella got a glove on it. And Cabrera safe with a 1-out single.
I don't think that Paulino could have thrown a better fastball in on the hands of a better hitter than Miguel Cabrera, but it showed you how strong he is. This bat breaks right in half, and it's still strong enough to hit a one-hopper past second base. Giavotella knocks it down to keep from going to the outfield, but no chance to get Cabrera at first base. But that's the strength of Miguel Cabrera right there.
And now Victor Martinez, and he struck out looking in the first inning. Down and away, ball 1. By the way, when Jackson batted in the third inning, changed the scoring. We originally had a 6-3 play, but it is now going to be ruled an infield single for Jackson. Jackson retired 3 unassisted by Hosmer as he made a move towards second base and couldn't get back to first. So 4 hits for the Tigers. And Cabrera at first base with 1 out. 1 ball, 1 strike on Martinez. Tigers are 4th in the league in batting average, 5th in runs scored, 6th in home runs. But they have the fewest stolen bases in the American League. Not that you'd expect Miguel Cabrera to go anywhere, but just to put it into perspective, the Tigers have stolen 38 bases this year. The Royals have been thrown out 38 times. To go along with 106 successful stolen bases.
Ryan, their team that's going to rely on their offense and the ability to make the routine play. They don't have a lot of range on their infield, and they don't have the ability to, like you say, steal bases or manufacture runs. So they're going to have to rely on pitching and their offense. They got to score runs to win this division.
Cabrera bouncing around at first base as if he was going to go, and Martinez strikes out again. So his troubles against the Royals continue. And Paulino has 4 strikeouts, 2 strikeouts in this inning. It's the second time that Paulino has faced the Tigers in his career. He saw them 2 years ago in interleague play when he was pitching with the Astros, and he pitched very well. Only gave up 1 run in 7 innings. He struck out 9 in 7 innings. Down and away, ball 1 to Johnny Peralta. Peralta flied to right in the second inning. He is hitting better than .400 this year against the division. We were talking earlier about how the Tigers, even though they're in first place, it's really been a disappointing season for them. With the talent they have, feeling like they should have a better record than 59 and 52. But what the Tigers have done, and what is so important these days with the unbalanced schedule, is the Tigers have been excellent against the division. They are 23 and 13 against the Central. So you do the math. They're 10 games above against the division. They are 7 above overall, so they're under .500 against everybody else. Two and two.
Yeah, Tiger hitters are always going to have to be aware of Felipe Paulino's fastball at 96 that moves, and then he comes in with that little harder breaking ball he throws right at you, that slider, and it gets to the inside corner. And that slider was a little bit softer and really got Peralta out front with that swing.
Plays off the slider this time, 3 and 2. So Cabrera, who's been bouncing around at first base trying to distract Paulino, he'll be running on this pitch. And Peralta strikes out. Paulino strikes out the side. Earlier this year, 170 Royals fans and the 548 Transportation Company were deployed by the Missouri National Guard to Afghanistan. Tomorrow, we will send those troops a taste of home. They're going to watch the game live in Afghanistan, and Kauffman Stadium will welcome them with Armed Forces Day tributes. And we encourage you, if you're planning on coming out tomorrow, to maybe get an old bed sheet or a big piece of cardboard, and if you want to send a message to the troops in Afghanistan that will be watching the game, then go ahead and bring it out to the ballpark. Find a spot where you can hang it over maybe the facade of the upper deck like they did in the 70s and the 80s, and we'll take pictures of those banners and send those messages to the troops in Afghanistan. Second time that Alex has grounded out against Rick Porcello. One away in the fourth inning, and now Melky Cabrera to the plate, and we'll take a look at our league leaders tonight, brought to you by your Kansas City area Toyota dealers. Top batting averages by switch hitters, and two of them in there tonight. Victor Martinez, 322. Melky Cabrera at 304. Those switch hitters so far tonight are hitless. Martinez has struck out twice against Paulino. Melky grounded out in the first inning, and he was out at first thanks to a great stretch by Miguel Cabrera. 0-2. And Melky goes hobbling out of the batter's box, and Frank, we go back to the game against Baltimore when he jammed and rolled his ankle at first base. We didn't think he looked right the next night, which was Wednesday. He told you he was fine last night, but look at the pivot on the back foot.
And once it got completely turned around, and you can find that's that push off foot, and that everything rotates off that back foot, and he just got both of them right there. I can't even go back and tell you how he began to even foul this ball off. I mean, that's so far inside, it's unbelievable. He gets right around it, right inside the instep. This is back on Wednesday, trying to get back into first base. He comes up a little bit short and jams that toe, and then he rolls that, but as his weight came forward, rolled over on that ankle.
And was able to stay in the game barely.
No, when a guy gets up, throws his helmet off, and stuff, that's pain bothering him right there. So it's not one of those things that's easy to shake off.
So he goes Ichiro with a sore back leg and just slaps it in between third and short, and he's still hurting. This might be a short night for Melky Cabrera.
This is totally a defensive swing here. It just goes out and slaps it over in the hole between third and short. Didn't get any rotation on his back leg at all, and all upper body on this swing. Everything stops.
I noticed the same thing. He didn't move that back foot at all.
Then he started off running pretty decent, but as he turned around first base, I mean, his face was showing a lot of pain. So you don't know whether it's the left ankle or the one he fouled off the instep.
1-0 to Billy Butler. He grounded out to short in the first inning. Royals so far have been able to get one ball in the air against Porcello, and that's it, and that was an out. Coming up on Tuesday, August 16th, Billy Butler will be at High V, located off of I-29 and 64th Street. He'll be there from 12:30 to 1:30, signing autographs and distributing free cans of Pepsi Max to the lunch crowd. Pepsi Max and High V, proud partners of the Royals and Fox Sports Kansas City. One ball, two strikes. Of the 10 outs that Rick Porcello has recorded tonight, 9 have either been on the ground or a strikeout. And that's his game with his sinking fastball. 3 strikeouts, 6 ground ball outs, and one of his ground ball outs resulted in a double play. And a defensive swing by Billy to stay alive. 1-2.
That ran a two-seamer up under Billy's hand, and Billy doesn't usually chase a pitch like that, but he did a good job just fouling it off. But they could have easily swung right through this. Look at it, look at all that run. I mean, this is a good telling fastball right underneath his bat. Right underneath his hands, actually.
Avila down to his knees to block it. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Well, you got a couple of guys hooking up right here who have improved recently with an emphasis on letting it go, if you will. Jeff Jones, when he took over as pitching coach of the Tigers last month, just wanted Porcello to be more aggressive, reach back, let it fly, which is a good way to describe what Billy's been doing at the plate with increased power numbers. 3 balls, 2 strikes. There's Jeff Jones. He was the bullpen coach. Rick Knapp was fired on July 3rd. So Jeff Jones coming in from the bullpen, and Mike Rojas, the son of Cookie Rojas, is now the bullpen coach. Melky runs. Avila's throw is in time. And Ned Yost comes flying out of the Royals dugout to argue with Rob Drake, who had a big run-in with Yadier Molina of the Cardinals just a few days ago. Tonight, Johnny Giavotella making his big league debut. He has handled a ground ball at second base. He has grounded into a double play in his first big league at bat. He hit it hard, but I'd imagine he's a little more comfortable now than he was before the first pitch.
Well, getting that first ground ball was huge. I mean, the sooner you get it, the sooner you get into action, the more relaxed you get, and that first at bat is huge too. So being able to square up a ball and hit it hard, that gives you confidence that at least your swing in your mind is right on track where it needs to be.
Carlos Guillen, who handled the ground ball from Giavotella and turned it into a double play. He will lead off, flied out in the second inning, 0 for his last 8.
I think it's real comforting, too, Ryan, to come into a situation where you know a lot of the players around you, guys that you've played with and guys you've been in big games with, and being able to see these guys up here like Hosmer, Moustakas, to do the things that they've done, the young guys in the bullpen, and you're doing your thing in Omaha and not missing a beat, and now all of a sudden you're on the same field with the same feelings. And when you talk to those guys in spring training, they all had that same feeling. I want to be a part of the Royals turnaround. They saw themselves as being here, and some of them a little sooner than they thought, but getting this early season experience, early career experience, it's going to pay off huge, I believe.
Guillen flies out to center field again, 1 away in the 5th inning. Well, as you know, the All-Star Game is coming to Kansas City next summer, and this week the only place you can buy official All-Star gear is the Majestic Team Store at Kauffman Stadium. The Majestic Team Store opens at noon every day this week, so come on down to Kauffman Stadium and get your official 2012 Major League All-Star Game apparel. Alex Avila struck out in the second inning. Tigers scoring right away in the first. Back-to-back triples to begin the inning. Austin Jackson and then Brennan Bosch. Maglio Ordonez had a sacrifice fly. So 3 batters into it, the Tigers had 2-0, and those are the only runs. Avila down 0-2. Speaking of Johnny Giavotella, let's go down to Joel, who is with the Giavotella family.
Well, a lot of people here, Ryan. His dad is right in front of us. His mom is next to me. Friends, family, Little League teammates. But Cindy Giavotella is here right now. Got to be the proudest mom in the world. What is this like to come here and see your son make it to the major leagues?
It's unbelievable. It's very hard.
Huh.
Well, it's been unbelievable to see everybody here. I should point out, too, I don't want to leave out his grandmother is right in front of us, and everybody in the Giavotella clan here get a little round of applause for his grandmother. Cindy, you didn't know that this was coming today. You had plans to go to a family function in the Quad Cities and had to make a little change, didn't you?
Yes, I did. I went to surprise my little brother for his birthday, and so I got the call right when I landed into the Quad Cities, and I had to go straight to my little brother's who was doing all the cooking and tell him I had bad news and good news. The bad news, I wouldn't be able to attend his party today, and the good news is Johnny got called up. I'm going to Kansas City, so that's what happened, and here we are with no sleep, and it's been a great ride, though. Excited to be here for Johnny. Very happy for him.
Well, Johnny has talked about the family work ethic, and everybody that knows him, and we're just getting our first glimpse, but Eric Hosmer, Mike Moustakas, all these kids that he's come up with have said that he is always the hardest working player on the field and at the ballpark. How much pride does that give you and the Giavotella family?
Oh, it's indescribable. He's always been that focused in everything he does, whether it's football and even in classroom academically. He's always given 100%. We're very proud of him, and I'm sure he gets it from his dad, and we're all real hard workers in the family, so it pays off, and you reap what you sow, I guess, right?
Absolutely. The Tigers with the home run there, that's the bad news. The good news is that we have been through this now so many times this year. I was telling you that Johnny is the 10th Royal this year to make his major league debut, and to see the family celebrate it every time has been so special. Alex Gordon's mom is on the other side of me. She went through this a number of years ago. You never forget it, and I've got to think that for you to be able to see him on this field, we saw him hugging the family before the game. It has to be the greatest thrill for a family.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. We're just so proud of Johnny and so happy that he's finally gotten this far. I mean, it's a dream come true.
Well, it's a pleasure to have you all in town. I'm not sure if anybody's back running the pizza shop back in New Orleans, Gio's Pizza, or if they're watching right now, or if they're closed for the night.
Well, I can tell you, I just heard through the grapevine that there's a big sign on the door that said, "Gone to Kansas City." So, yeah, the pizza place is closed down, and the phones have been ringing off the hook, and it's very, very, very wonderful.
Congratulations to you all. It's great to have you here in Kansas City, and hope to see you here for years.
Thank you. We hope so, too.
All right, that is Cindy Giavotella. Johnny Sr. is in front of me. Johnny's grandmother, already wearing a Royals T-shirt, is here. I'm told the pizza lady is here, too. That's why the pizza shop is closed, because Johnny's aunt is here. So if Johnny's aunt is here, there's nobody to serve pizza at Gio's. Kansas City Royals baseball more important tonight, guys.
Thanks, Joel. Well, I heard Johnny referring to the family pizza parlor before the game tonight. And a little family plug there. If you're ever in the area, make sure you stop by. It's the best pizza in town. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Wilson Betemede, who grounded out to short in the 3rd inning. Remember how many people you had for your major league debut?
First home game?
Yeah.
40.
Mm-hmm. Betemede cranks it into the right field corner, and it's off the padding. So with 1 out, a home run, and now a double.
Yeah, Wilson picks on a slider and comes down and into his swing, and he got the head of the bat out on it and drove it into the right field corner, right off the wall. But right now, Paulino left that pitch up a little bit, and that was why Wilson was able to get to it so easily. He didn't have that good snap to the slider, just stayed out over the plate and Betterman put a nice swing on it.
We're going to get a chance to comment on it because Joel was talking to Johnny Giovatella's mother, Cindy, but Alex Avila with an impressive home run to straightaway center field that cleared every wall we have to offer in center.
Oh, some kind of bomb, I tell you. I mean, he just got extended on this fastball out over the plate, and Cabrera goes as far back as he can, but this ball is up over the back wall, over the ivy.
He hit it over a padded wall, a concrete wall, and an ivy wall.
And you can see where it bounced, and it was just way back to about it. I would say that'd be the deepest part of the ballpark right there.
There's a big league game going on right now, and that little guy couldn't be having any more fun, just trying to catch his hat. Austin Jackson hooks it foul into the left field corner. It's kind of a throwback scene right there, Frank. Now, you're older than I am, but I think we kind of come from the same period of time where there wasn't a whole lot of organized teams and traveling teams, and we just kind of invented ways to go outside and play games and entertain ourselves, and we did things like this. I mean, this guy might win a Gold Glove someday, and it'll go all the way back to when he went to Kauffman Stadium, and 5,000 times every game he would throw his hat up in the air and catch it. Or maybe he'll be a NFL punt returner.
Well, I'll tell you one thing that's hard for young kids to learn how to do is judge fly balls. And so by catching his hat, or if he's going to catch his hat, at least he's putting it into practice.
Threw it in the ivy. And Jackson walks. That's Paulino's first. So Paulino gave up those back-to-back triples, but then he retired 12 out of 14. And the two hits were infield singles. And now a home run, a double, and a walk. Bob McClure is going to go out and chat to Paulino, try and get him back together. Royals' next homestand will be against the top two teams in the American League East, the Boston Red Sox and the New York Yankees. First, the Yankees in town, Monday, August 15th through Wednesday, August 17th. And then the Royals will have a 4-game series with Boston beginning on Thursday, August 18th. The Royals took 2 out of 3 in New York, and they split a 4-game series in Boston. That little guy is still trying to catch that hat. You ever play those games with yourself that you can't go inside until you catch 5 in a row or something like that, or until you hit 5, 10 free throws in a row, then you can go home? I think. What do you think? 3, 2 in a row, maybe just 1 in a row. He sure isn't taking it easy on himself. I mean, he could throw it, not so high, and it'd be an easier catch. But every time we go back to him, he's heaving it higher than his previous throw.
That's all the fun. How high can I throw it? And usually he's not going directly over his head either. Usually throwing it backwards or forward. He's doing more running, chasing the hat than actually catching the hat.
He's having the time of his life.
Well, the one thing you got to always look at is hand-eye coordination.
Hey, there we go. See, 1 in a row is not enough.
Not enough. I will go till I get tired.
He's looking for consistency. Brennan Bosch tripled in a run, and then he scored in the first and then grounded out in the third. He has 2 on with 1 out, and he fouls it back into the netting. With one out, Alex Avila homered, and that's where we discovered that little boy out in center field. He hit it over 3 walls out in straightaway center field, and then Wilson Betemit followed with a double. Austin Jackson with a walk. To left field, Alex is there, and there are 2 outs. And now Paulino will get Maglio Ordonez. Still trying to shake off a slow start this year. Last year he broke his ankle in August, his right ankle, and for a right-hand batter, a right-hand power hitter, that is his back leg, his drive leg. So coming back from a broken ankle, and then in the middle of May went on the disabled list because his ankle was still bothering him. So he's hitting at just 235, and this is a guy who just 4 years ago won the American League batting title when he hit 363. He is a 312 career hitter. Moustakas, nice short hop play over to Giavotella, and that's the inning. So the Tigers get 1 run on the Avila home run. At bat in this inning. Tonight's AT&T trivia question: who was the first Royal to wear number 9, which Giavotella wears now, and who was the last? The first and the last number 9. Well, the last would be Johnny Giavotella. But I don't think that's what they're looking for.
I think the first would be Ellie Rodriguez.
Well, you would know. You were a Royals fan.
And that would have to be in the first year, 69. That's a guess. Catcher.
Eric Hosmer struck out against Porcello in his first at bat. Heading the count here, 3 balls, 1 strike. Hosmer, Francoeur, Giavotella. Royals with 2 singles in 4 innings. Grounded to Peralta, right to him, and there's 1 away. Tonight's copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Kansas City Royals. They may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Kansas City Royals Baseball Corporation. Ryan Lefevre with Frank White, Joel Goldberg with our producer Kevin Shank, director Steve Kurtenbach, associate producers Al Broughton, Sam Abramson, and the producer of Royals Live is TJ McGinnis. Nice crowd on a Friday night. Fireworks after the game. It's also Buck night. Two 2-0 on Francoeur. He singled in the second inning. Giavotella grounded into a double play, and after Cabrera singled in the fourth, the inning ended with a strikeout throw-out double play. So Porcello has faced the minimum and still has faced the minimum through 4 2/3 innings. Another ground ball to short. And now Giavotella. So you pick one, Frank. You're going to go with Ellie Rodriguez. I'm going to go with David DeJesus.
Good call.
And the answer is Lou Piniella. Giavotella grounded out sharply in the second inning, and he hit it right to Guillen at second, who turned it into a 4-6-3 double play. We've heard so much about Giavotella and how he's a gamer, he's scrappy, dirtbag, all the terms to describe a guy who plays hard, and there's his first major league hit, and it should go for extra bases. So there you go, August 5th, 2011 against Rick Porcello.
He got a fastball out over the plate and stayed right with it and hit it right inside the bag at first base. Nice swing. He kept his hands in and just take that short swing and hit the ball where it was pitched.
That's my boy. And a strike to Mike Moustakas. Something else to know about Giavotella, which will describe his mentality. He was a very good high school football player. Now remember, he's 5'8", but he was a linebacker. So that'll tell you a little bit about how he plays the game. And he wasn't just playing for any football team. His high school football team won a state championship. Royals' second round pick in 2008 out of the University of New Orleans. Johnny Giavotella with his first big league hit. And now Mike Moustakas is trying to get him home. And that's hit hard to Betamit, who throws over to first, and that ends the inning. Giavotella got his first big league hit, and we asked you in our Sprint You Call It question which rookie would have the best night. 43% going with Eric Hosmer, and right behind him Giavotella. And right now you would have to say Johnny Giavotella, 1 for 2 with that double. Grounded foul by Miguel Cabrera. Tigers getting 2 in the first inning. Bosch and Ordonez driving in runs, and then Alex Avila hit a long home run to center field in the 5th. Cabrera has an infield single and a ground out. 1 ball, 1 strike. Two and 1 from Felipe Paulino. Victor Martinez will follow, and then Johnny Peralta. 2 and 2. Joel was telling us at the beginning of the broadcast about how many native Venezuelans that are playing tonight. Well, you've got Alcides Escobar at shortstop. And you've got Manny Pena behind the plate. Felipe Paulino is not native to Venezuela, but that's where he grew up. Born in the Dominican Republic. He strikes out Miguel Cabrera. And all 3 hitters coming up for the Tigers in this inning are from Venezuela. Cabrera, Martinez, Peralta, and if anybody gets on, Carlos Guillen also from Venezuela. Six strikeouts for Felipe Paulino, and he has struck out Victor Martinez twice. Got him looking in the 1st and swinging in the 4th.
Well, so far Martinez had a hard time laying out that high fastball.
As is normally the case, if you grow up in Venezuela and you play baseball, your first thought is to be a shortstop. With all the great shortstops that have come out of that country. 1 ball, 1 strike on Martinez.
Well, that's some great names. Great names come out of Venezuela. They go all the way back to when I was there in '73 in Maracaibo, Venezuela. The name that everyone talked about was Chico Carrasquel, and then from there was Aparicio, and right on up to Dave Concepcion, and right on up the line.
And you can tell how old a player is based on who he idolized. Like the younger guys now all wanted to be Omar Vizquel. Well, Victor Martinez is a little bit older, so he wanted to be Ozzie Guillen. And then a little bit older than that would be Dave Concepcion. And then older than that, Louis Aparicio.
Right on down the line.
You want me to use my trailer voice, movie trailer voice? Had a play off the left field line. Victor Martinez, no different. Wanted to be the next Ozzie Guillen, so he was hurt in 1996 when Cleveland signed him and wanted to make him a catcher. He wanted to quit because he wanted to be a shortstop so badly. But as the story goes, his mother, who raised 4 kids by herself and worked 2 jobs to accomplish that, told Victor, "You're not quitting anything."
That'll do it.
Victor's father died at the age of 33, so it was up to his mother to raise the 4 kids. And at 16 years old, he was still listening to mom, and it's a good thing he did listen to mom, because over the course of his career, not catching much now, but when he was with the Indians, he was one of the premier catchers in the American League.
I agree with that. I mean, just a switch hitter that can hit like him and call the game and throw. And that's that high fastball that he just is a magnet to the high fastball, especially with 2 strikes on him from Paulino tonight.
And what to look for. Look at Fox Tracks there. Paulino's giving him a little bit of everything. Really can't hone in on one zone. He's pitched him up, he's pitched him in, he's pitched him away, he's pitched him down, and it's still 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Well, right now with two strikes, he just got to chase anything close and just hope he can foul it off, but just try to lay away from swinging at that high fastball.
Martinez has fouled off 5 in a row. And he's worked a full count. Pitch count starting to pile up for Paulino. He is at 93 with 1 out in the 6th inning. Apparently some small bugs have descended onto Kauffman Stadium, and at first they were only bugging Paulino, but now they've made their way to home plate and giving the hitter some trouble. Giavotella throws over to Hosmer, 2 down. Not quite as bad as that playoff game. Remember the Yankees and the Indians at then Jacobs Field. I remember Java Chamberlain on the mound. And
I've never seen anything like that in my life.
Every single bug from the state of Ohio was around the pitcher's mound, and that lasted for a few innings.
It always seems to be worse when you're sweating, you know, and they just kind of stick to you and just can't get them away from you.
Escobar from Venezuela throws out Peralta from Venezuela, and it's a scoreless 6th inning for Paulino.
Rolling 3-0. Our contestant is Christy Toes from Atchison, Kansas. If the Royals hit a home run this inning, Christy will win $6,600. But if the Royals hit a grand slam out of the park, Christy will win $25,000 from Sonic and the Kansas City Royals.
And it'll be Alcides Escobar, Manny Pena, and Alex Gordon coming up here in the bottom of the 6th inning. And Rick Porcello, who has faced only 1 over the minimum, throws a strike to Escobar, who has the only fly ball out for the Royals in the first 5 innings. If you total up, and that is not a bunt attempt, 1 ball, 1 strike. If you total up Porcello's strikeouts and ground ball outs, 14 of his 15 total outs have been that route. Only 1 out in the air. So at least for the first 5 innings, he has his A game. And it's 1-2 on Escobar. We were talking about all the Venezuelan players last half inning, and I said that Johnny Peralta is from Venezuela. He is not. He's from the Dominican Republic. Another country where most kids, I think, grow up wanting to be a shortstop.
Well, I guess you're really saying that the best athletes are usually shortstops. They pitch, they play short, they play center field, all the skill positions.
Porcello from New Jersey throws out Escobar. And there's one down in the bottom of the 6th. The NFL is back, and Fox's coverage begins with a preseason special as the Buccaneers head to Kansas City to take on the Chiefs. Coverage begins on Friday, August 12th at 7 p.m. in high definition, only on Fox. They just get right after it with the NFL.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's a week from now. They're going to be playing exhibition games on the other side of the parking lot.
It makes you think a lot of guys are working out on their own. And it's a lot, too, being ready to play the football season.
I think the full squad just got together yesterday, didn't they?
They just signed some of the bigger free agents. And
Pena's shortstop is handled by Peralta, and he's 0 for 2. So there you go, 2 more ground ball outs for Porcello. And now the Royals will be beginning their 3rd time through the order. And Alex has grounded out twice. Twice to the second baseman, Carlos Guillen.
Johnny Peralta has been a pleasant surprise to the Tigers this year. He went into spring training a little bit heavy, and bench coach Rafael Belliard said, hey, we need to get you not just in shape, we need to get you in shortstop shape. And that's what they went to work on, and he's played very well defensively to go along with his offense.
One and one to Alex. Staying inside, 2 balls and 1 strike. So both teams playing well. Tigers coming off that winning homestand. The Royals have won 5 of their last 7. Just took 2 out of 3 from the Orioles. And there's a solid base hit into center field. So Alex Gordon has hit in 7 straight games.
Take a look at this swing, and they just it's very little body, hands do all the work, and the reason you like those hands to come through like that, Ryan, is that you're totally relaxed and you stand back, you're seeing the ball, and you're just reacting to where the ball's pitched.
And Melky hits it hard to left center field, a long run for Bosch, but he is there. And that's the inning. Just the 2nd out in the air for the Royals in 6 innings. Felipe Paulino at 95 pitches. So right now has a so-called quality start, 3 earned runs in 6 innings, only 1 walk to go with 6 strikeouts. Tigers getting runs driven in from Bosch and Ordonez in the first, and Alex Avila with a home run in the 5th. Off the right field line and foul, and it's 0-1 on Carlos Guillen, who has flied out to Melky Cabrera twice. Coming back from the disabled list for the 9th time in his career. 9 times on the DL and 4 times since 2009. No balls, 2 strikes.
Well, Felipe Paulino gave up those 2 runs in the first inning. Then you say, okay, let's put some zeros up, give the offense a chance to go. So 4 out of the last 5 innings, he's put zeros on the board. And the offense, Porcello, just been too tough on the Royals offense to this point.
You know, when you talk about run support and you say, well, this guy's not getting good run support, you might be talking about, you know, his past few starts, maybe the past couple months, maybe the whole year. But Felipe Paulino has gotten historically bad run support.
And the one thing that tells you about him is that this is a guy that doesn't let those things bother him. I mean, he may think about it once the game's over and then he reads the paper the next day. But I think that when you look at what he's gone through and his ability to go out there and weather the storm, so to speak, this guy's got to be completely mentally tough. Mm-hmm. Just be able to just go through that. I mean, he goes out and he puts the zeros up. He pitches in deep into the games. He throws a lot of pitches and always gives a team a chance to win.
Still 1 ball, 2 strikes. And getting back to the numbers we shared with you in the first inning. Before tonight, 44 starts in Felipe Paulino's major league career. In 25 of those, so more than half, he has gotten less than 2 runs. Not 2 runs or less. Less than 2 runs. And the Royals are scoreless through 6 tonight. Still 1-2 on Guillen. He'll be followed by Alex Avila, then Wilson Betemit. Paulino now at 102 pitches, and the Royals are working in the bullpen. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Lewis Coleman was warming up. It's become very muggy, and you can see the steam up against the lights. And Coleman, in the middle of warming up, has to dry off his hands and his forearms. Hosmer plays a short op. He'll go to the bag himself. So a 9-pitch battle between Paulino and Guillen results in a ground ball to first. Well, Royals fans, you can take batting practice with Royals alumni here at Kauffman Stadium coming up on August 27th. The Royals alumni batting practice includes a light breakfast, t-shirt and shorts, an autographed baseball, and 4 ticket vouchers for next year. To purchase your batting practice package, call 816-504-4150. Strike to Alex Avila. And if you call that number, that man's daughter will most likely answer the phone.
The Duke.
John Wathan's daughter, Dina Blevins, who does such a great job with the Royals alumni, helping organize events like fans batting practice, fantasy camp, the instructional clinics that the Royals alumni do all throughout the region.
Yeah, Dana's such a great athlete. We always give her 1 at bat during fantasy camp, so she gets in there and she usually does well.
Mm-hmm. Alex Avila struck out in the second and then hit an impressive home run to straightaway center field in the 5th. And Paulino comes back and strikes him out again, and that's 7 for Felipe Paulino, and 2 away in the 7th.
Well, Paulino continues to battle. He continues to try to make pitches, and man, look at that. And just a good run on that pitch, and that's a whole lot different pitch than Alex Avila got last at bat.
Wilson Betemit going for it all, and Paulino still running it up there at 96. Betemit 1 out of 2 with a 5th inning double.
Now you look at that changeup from Felipe Paulino, you'd see he probably could use that pitch a little bit more. He stays mainly with his hard fastball and hard slider, but that was an outstanding changeup.
Now 97 miles an hour to make it 0-2. Paulino right at 110 pitches. By today's standards, that's saying a lot when a pitcher is at 110, but with the way that Paulino is put together, that's not saying much at all. Producer Kevin Shank has given him the nickname Paulino the Palomino. 2-2. Getting to 120 pitches is no big deal for Felipe Paulino. After jumping ahead of Betemit 0-2, now it's 3 balls, 2 strikes. And if he doesn't get Betemit, Austin Jackson is on deck. Jackson has 2 hits, and the Tigers will be beginning their 4th time through the order. So this could be Paulino's last pitch. And we'll see what Ned Yost does. It's Paulino's 2nd walk, and it came after the count was 0-2, and those pitches were missing up, which is a sign that pitchers getting tired. So it will be Lewis Coleman and Felipe Paulino once again with a solid effort, but because of no run support, he departs down 3-0. Lewis Coleman in on the Chevy call to the bullpen.
Maybe he should do those things. Reverse everything on himself.
Lewis Coleman comes on with a runner at first base and 2 outs, and he'll pitch to Austin Jackson. Well, the Royals could score 11 runs tonight and win this game, but as far as run support goes, the book is closed on Paulino since he departs. 0 runs of support while he was in there, so the updated numbers: 45 major league starts, and 26 of the 45 his team scores fewer than 2 runs. Jackson swung at the first pitch of the game and tripled to right center field and then came around to score. He also has an infield single and a walk. And he's 1 ball, 1 strike with Lewis Coleman. Made contact.
That's a very good pitch. Not a very good swing, but a very good pitch by Lewis Coleman. It's just a slider that backs up in the Jackson. That backup slider is awful hard to hit. It jams more hitters than anything else.
Somehow made contact. Coleman will run it toward Hosmer, and that's the inning. Innings, and now the best he can hope for is a no decision. Remember, you can reserve your spot in the best kids club in Major League Baseball, and for $20 your package includes a powder blue batting practice jersey, Royals cap, 2 Royals game ticket vouchers, and much more. That's presented by U.S. Toy. Visit Royals.com/Blue Crew to order your child's Blue Crew package today. 1-1 to Billy Butler. With a 10-game hitting streak coming in, Billy tonight has grounded out to short and struck out, and he shouldn't feel alone as Rick Porcello in 6 innings. And with his 18 outs, 16 of the 18 have been either by way of a strikeout or a ground ball. And there's another ground ball, and it's off of Bedemeat's glove. Bosch hustles to the line, and that will hold Billy to a single. Bedemeat immediately looked at the dirt when the ball went past his glove. It's a base hit for Butler. Bedemeat maybe suggesting it took a bad hop on it.
Well, he took back, but Billy hits some top spin on this ground ball. It goes down the line here, and this is where the third baseman, you want to try to at least knock this ball down and not let it get by you. But he got under Bedemeat's glove and went to a base hit.
Ball 1 to Eric Hosmer, who is struck out and grounded out to short. Royals have not had an inning tonight where they've had more than one base runner. 2-0. 1-out single in the second inning, followed by a ground ball double play, a 1-out single in the fourth, followed by a runner caught stealing and a strikeout. Giavotella with his first major league hit in the fifth. That was a 2-out double, and a 2-out single from Gordon in the sixth. Hosmer fouls it off the facing of the upper deck in left field. 2 balls and 1 strike. And that's hit hard past Guillen. Butler to second and holding. not a lot of range on the right side of the infield with that ground ball. Hit hard by Hosmer, but Guillen really didn't have to go that far to his left.
Well, that's one of the things I talked about, Brian, is that on that defense that the Tigers have, you got to, if they're going to make the basic plays, you're not going to see many great plays, and that's a disadvantage to the defense, and that's an advantage to the offense as Hosmer gets this ball by Guillen at second base.
I got to be honest with you, when that ball was hit, I was thinking bad luck for the Royals because it looked like another ground ball double play, but it got past Guillen, and comes pitching coach Jeff Jones to talk to Porcello, who's only thrown 76 pitches.
When you take a look at it face on, and so really just was barely able to get a couple steps in there on that ground ball, and that's one of the disadvantages of the Tiger infield. Other than Peralta at shortstop, you just don't have a lot of range on that infield.
Here's a final look at our Sprint You Call It question for tonight. Which rookie will have the best night? 41% going with Eric Hosmer. And to this point, if you just went with total bases, you'd have to say Giavitella, who has a double. So 2 on, nobody out. And now Frank Coeur into center field. Didn't quite get it. Jackson makes the catch. The throw goes to second as Billy Butler moves up to third. So last time up, Johnny Giavitella got his first major league hit. Now a chance for his first major league RBI. He's our Miller Lite taste greatness moment.
Well, you want to get that first base hit out of the way early in the game, and you see what Giavitella is really saying hi to his folks, and this is what makes his folks even more proud when he get that first base hit of his major league career. Yes, Dad's all excited, whole family's excited, and Mom's waving, "Can you see me? Can you see me?" And he's waving from the field to his parents. It's a great base hit for him, a great night for the family.
Hit the ball hard his first time up as well, but he hit it right to Carlos Guillen with a runner at first base, and that was turned into a double play.
Well, he's got a nice compact swing. He doesn't really get out of control, and he kind of lets the ball travel, keeps it real short, and he hits the ball back through the middle to right center field with some authority.
Down in the count, no balls, 2 strikes. He was having a huge year at AAA Omaha. He had 153 hits. If you compare that to the major leagues, there is only one player in either league that had more hits than that. And that's Adrian Gonzalez of the Red Sox, who had 158. 338 batting average, 390 on base percentage, and 72 RBIs as a number 2 hitter.
He also had 33 doubles to go with that too, so he's very productive all the way around. I think at one point he was leading all second basemen in assists and put out, so he was having a great year all around. There's nothing lacking in his game right now as far as AAA goes.
And he lays off a close pitch. The count goes to 2-2. So here's the crack the Royals have been looking for all night. First time they've had more than one base runner. Billy Butler with a single to begin the inning, followed by Eric Hosmer's single. Frank Coeur just flied out to center. Grounded through the right side, and he drives in his first run. Tigers feel like Rick Porcello has hit a wall, because with 82 pitches and giving up his first run in the 7th inning, he is out, and sprinting in is Phil Cope in a Chevy call to the bullpen. He has 2 hits and now his first big league RBI.
Yeah, we talked about his ability to wait and go the other way. And with that hole open over there, he was able to get a hanging slider and get himself a base hit and an RBI. And he's running hard all the way. And he's very excited about this base hit.
And as you can imagine, his family loves it. It is lefty Phil Koch, who started the year in the Tigers rotation and then moved back to the bullpen at the end of June. 1-8. Not a very good strikeout to walk ratio. And he gets Mike Moustakas with 2 on and 1 out. 1 ball, 1 strike. Moustakas, after missing a couple of games to work on his swing with Kevin Seitzer, has struck out and grounded out to third. Hosmer at second base, Giavotella at first. One ball, 2 strikes. Moustakas has faced Phil Koch twice before tonight, 0 for 2 with a strikeout. That was in the series right before the All-Star break. The Tigers took 3 out of 4 in that series right here at Kauffman Stadium. Royals just 3-6 against Detroit this year. And jumps on a breaking ball and gets it into right field. Hosmer coming around third. The throw goes to third where Giavotella is safe. It's a 1-run game with the tying run at third base. And that moose chant never sounded better to Mike Moustakas than tonight.
Well, you're right, Ryan. You get a couple of days off and work with your hitting coach, and you start working on your swing a little bit. And Moose was able to stay back on that breaking ball and use his hands to get a base hit to right field. And you can see Hosmer scoring from second base, and Giavotella hit first in at third base.
So Moustakas has a Coke and a smile, and the Tigers make another pitching change. Billy Butler, Eric Hosmer, Johnny Giavotella, and Mike Moustakas have all contributed to 2 runs so far. Giavotella is at third, Moustakas is at first, and it's right-hander David Pauly on to face Alcides Escobar. Pauly just acquired recently from the Mariners in a trade that also brought pitcher Doug Fister to Detroit, making his second appearance with Detroit. And he's 0-1 with Alcides Escobar. So Phil Koch came on to face 1 batter. And it was Mike Moustakas who was 0 for his last 8. He was hitting right around 190. And with 2 strikes, Moustakas drives in Eric Hosmer to make it a 1-run game.
All right, when you see what Giapatella and Hosmer and Moustakas have been able to do, and the way they play the game, you can only imagine what they were like when they were in Double-A.
A bunt, and Escobar is not out. The Tigers are arguing that the ball hit Escobar after he had left the batter's box, which would mean he was out.
And you take a look at the bunt here. Now this is one you never want to attempt this bunt unless the guy on third base really knows you're going to do this. And the good thing about Esky on that bunt, he was in the box when the ball hit him. The guy on third always has to know when you're going to try to drag bunt.
And a blooper into center field, and it will drop. The Royals have tied the game with 3 in the 7th inning.
Missed the bunt, get a high fastball, and really pushes it out in the center field. Didn't hit it well, but good enough. And Giapatella tags from third base and crosses the plate. He's had a full night.
And now Manny Pena with runners at first and second, 1 out, and a chance to put the Royals in front.
Well, you can only imagine what this crowd is going to be like when the team goes forward and the guys continue to develop and continue to play exciting brand of baseball. And this gives you an idea of just how excited this city is to see winning baseball.
One and one to Pena.
Last night it was Manny Pena in the 6th inning who led off with a double, and that led to a 6-run inning for the Royals in the 6th inning last
night. The oldest contributor to this inning is 24 years old. That would be Billy Butler, Alcides Escobar, and Johnny Giavotella. There's a ground ball that will turn into a double play, but the Royals get 3 to tie it. A double, and the Royals tie it with 3 in the bottom of the 7th, and we go around the league, presented by Panera Bread. Toronto beating Baltimore, so the Orioles continue to struggle. New York and Boston are playing, and thankfully the league has allowed the rest of us to play our games while that series is going on. Tampa Bay is in front of Oakland 8-4. They're in the top of the 9th inning. Cleveland is in front of Texas. Indians 3 games back of the Tigers in the Central. Chicago's lost 6 in a row. They're in front at Minnesota. And Seattle is at Los Angeles. Seattle's won 3 in a row after sweeping the A's. Lewis Coleman got the final out of the 7th inning. He stays on for the 8th. And he throws a strike to Brennan Bosch. Bosch tripled in the 1st inning after Austin Jackson tripled. And right away, 9 pitches into the game, the Tigers had a 2-0 lead. Grounded to Hosmer. He'll backhand. Calls off Coleman, 1 away.
Yeah, it's always comforting to have a first baseman like Eric Hosmer. Look how soft these hands are right here, right into the glove. But the thing that really makes him stand out to me, other than being a great defensive player, is that he's not afraid to take most of those plays himself and not depend on the pitcher to be there.
Magglio Ordonez 0 for 2. Drove in a run in the 1st inning. That was with a sacrifice fly. 1 ball, 1 strike against Lewis Coleman. First time Ordonez faces Lewis Coleman. And he's down 1-2. Good thing the Royals got 3 in the 7th inning, because when the Tigers have had the lead after 7 this year, they are 49-0. Leading up to their closer, Jose Valverde, who is 30 for 30 in save opportunities. Royals did very little against Rick Porcello for 6 innings. But Butler, Hosmer, Giavotella, Moustakas, and Escobar putting together a 3-run 7th. All the runs charged to Porcello. Three balls, 2 strikes. Up the middle and into center field. Think about how tough Lewis Coleman can be on a right-hand batter, and Ordonez is going to come out for a pinch runner. It'll be Don Kelly at first. Remember when DJ Carrasco pitched for the Royals, and every now and then he would drop down sidearm. And almost every time he would drop down sidearm, he would throw a slider. And he had a lot of strikeouts and outs as a result of that, but the league started to figure that out. As Cabrera hits a ground ball to second, Giavotella, Escobar, Hosmer, wide throw, but Cabrera gets around the tag. And even if he was tagged out, Hosmer dropped the ball, and the Tigers are still alive.
Well, Giavotella did a good job just getting this ball is right around the neck of Alcides Escobar. Should have been a pretty simple double play, but Alcides dropped his arm a little bit, let up on the throw, and Hosmer says he tagged him but just couldn't hold on to the ball. He did a nice backhand feed, dropped his hand, and you can see when he dropped his arm, the ball just ran down the first baseline, and this. You can always argue out of the baseline, but look here, 1 foot's in the 45-degree line, and so that might be one of the things where they might say the base runner creates his own baseline.
Well, by the rule book, whatever line the runner is on, he has 3 feet either way to avoid a tag.
I think Escobar again really in that he tried to throw the ball around Kelly rather than trying to throw the ball through Kelly, and I think that's the biggest difference there on that double play. You got to maintain your line between you and the first baseman. It's up to the runner to vacate that area for you. But it looked like he tried to go around him, and that made the ball run down the first baseline.
Well, it doesn't matter. Martinez pops up. Moustakas wants it, and that's the inning. A scoreless 8th for Lewis Coleman. Royals, and those 3 runs are our Chevrolet plays of the game.
Well, things got going in the 7th inning with Billy Butler, base hit to left field, followed by Hosmer, a base hit to right. And Giovatelli got his 2nd base hit on it that scored Billy. And then he just went from there with Moustakas getting a base hit to right field and Escobar driving in Giovatelli with a base hit to center field.
Don Kelly running for Ordonez stays in right field. And another pitching change. Daniel Schlereth is the 4th Tigers pitcher. Alex Gordon, Melky Cabrera, Billy Butler coming up against Schlereth. Rick Porcello, 6 1/3. He was charged with 3 runs. 2 of the runs scored after he was out. Phil Cote faced 1 batter. David Pauly got the final 2 outs, and now Schlereth. Ball 1 to Alex Gordon. He singled in the 6th inning. He's 1 for 3. Alex is 2 out of 4 with a home run and a walk against Schlereth. Tied him up. 1 ball, 1 strike. Alex perhaps drawn into that pitch, looking for something up and in against Schlereth, and put the Royals in front in the 8th inning. But you can see that was well out of the strike zone. That stayed up, and it's hit in the air to left field. Brennan Bosch makes the play, 1 away. Let's get a preview of Boulevard Royals Live, and here's Joel.
Well, we certainly have a lot to talk about after the game on Boulevard Royals Live out at Rivals. Great crowd out here. Johnny Giovatella's Major League debut. We'll hear from him, break down his night, and take a look at the late inning heroics to this point of the Royals. Great 7th inning, Felipe Paulino's night. Reaction from the Royals, and we'll take your text questions as well at 432-432, keyword live. Jeff Montgomery will be out there with me. Should be a lot of fun, guys.
All right, thank you, Joel. Ball 1 to Melky Cabrera. He is 1 for 3. Singled. And now batting from the right side. That won't put as much stress on his sore left ankle. Soft liner is hit right to Peralta, 2 down. And now it's Schlereth and Billy Butler, who has an 11-game hitting streak. He got that 7th inning started with a single off of Wilson Bedemeat's glove. Billy with 2 at-bats against Schlereth, and he's 0 for 1 with a walk. Breaking ball is low, ball 1. Another breaking ball. This one's in for a strike.
Yeah, one of the things, Ryan, this year that I've been really impressed with as far as Royals hitters go is the fact that once something has been identified in their swing, then Kevin Seitzer and that player have been able to work it out. And when they work it out, they've been able to hold on to it and go from game to game, rack up a lot of hits. You see the confidence steadily grow. And you can go down the list of the Royals hitters, and you can see the effect that he's had on this lineup. And Mike Moustakas gets a couple days off, and he gets a base hit tonight. So it's really kind of neat to see good things happen when coaches and players work together and take it into the game.
2-2 on Billy. His adjustment has been hitting for more power, holding his hands a little bit higher in his stance. And as you pointed out, when a player works on something new, Chris Getz is getting ready to pinch run if Billy gets on. When a player works on something new, at times it takes them a while before they can use it in the game, but Billy able to use it in the game right away and use it well. Royals down quickly in the bottom of the 8th. Scoring in the bottom of the 8th inning. No chance for a save situation tonight. So Ned Yost making sure that this game gets to the bottom of the 9th inning tied is going to go with Soria to pitch to Johnny Peralta, Carlos Guillen, and Alex Avila. Fouled back by Peralta, who is 0 for 3. Tigers got 2 in the first and 1 in the fifth. All that against Felipe Paulino, who went 6 2/3. The Royals with no runs, 4 hits, and 3 singles. That was in the first 6 innings, and then 3 in the 7th.
Their Porcello was really just sailing along, and then when they had the base hit, they got past Wilson Betamine at third base. It seemed like that rhythm got broken, and he never could get back on track again.
Peralta with good numbers against Soria, but he's down here 1 and 2.
Well, it was 6 hits and 18 at bats, but 4 of those are strikeouts, and Soria does have that ability to strike out most hitters in this game.
Got him with a rainbow.
I mean, you can look for it, but it's hard to wait on, and that's what makes Joaquin. That's one of the things that make Joaquin Soria so tough, is that he's got 4 pitches. He can throw that curveball in different speeds, and that's what makes that curveball so effective. And you can see right there, he really snaps that off right on top of it. That's a 12-6 break. Good finish.
Ball 1 to Carlos Guillen. He is 0 for 3 and 0 for his last 10. And Guillen just 1 out of 6 with 3 strikeouts against Soria. 2-0. Popped up. The wind pushing it over near the dugout sweep, but room for Moustakas, 2 down. And now Alex Avila, who is responsible for the Tigers' last run, and he hit a long home run to straightaway center field off of Paulino in the 5th. Otherwise, Felipe struck him out twice. Avila's 13th home run and 53rd RBI. Right side, Giavotella sets his feet, and we go to the bottom of the 9th inning. It'll be Eric Hosmer who has a base hit and a run scored. Jeff Francoeur has Royals with a chance to win it in the bottom of the ninth. An energetic crowd here tonight, to say the least. 28,565 on a fireworks Friday and Buck night. Most of them able to control themselves. Not all. Daniel Schlereth will stay in for Detroit. He'll get Eric Hosmer, Jeff Francoeur, and Johnny Giavotella. Hosmer in the middle of the 3-run 7th inning with a single and a run scored. Breaking ball, 4-strike-1. This is Eric Hosmer's first career at bat against Daniel Schlereth. No balls, 2 strikes. Very close. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Yeah, that's one area of Eric Hosmer's game that has to continue to improve, is facing lefties and trying to hit left-handed breaking balls away, just trying to stay on the pitch and trying to drive it the other way.
Two and two. Hosmer at times a tendency to chase fastballs up, and Avila doesn't quite do what Brian Pena does, stand up behind home plate, but he certainly gave Schlereth a high target. Now setting up down and away on 2 and 2. And it's hit on the ground to Cabrera. To Schlereth. Very close, but out. So Hosmer running hard up the line. And there's 1 down in the 9th.
You just see good feed by Cabrera, and that just did beat Hosmer to the bag. And that's one thing that these Royals players are doing right, is that they're not giving up. They're hustling on every play, and you can see Hosmer really made that play a lot closer than it normally would be.
Jeff Francoeur 1 for 3 with a single back in the 2nd inning. And that's up the right field line. It is a foul ball. And Francoeur just burning out of the batter's box. He was almost to first base when it landed foul. That was easily a double. But instead, just a long, loud strike.
One of those easy doubles, and he's possibly thinking about third base. And, you know, in order to get those extra bases, you got to go hard right out of the box, and he's running and hoping that there.
One and one. Francoeur 0 for 1 with a walk in the past against Daniel Schlereth. Pitch stayed up. And Kelly makes the play in right field. 2 down. Aaron Crow getting ready for the top of the 10th. And Giavotella already getting a nice response when his name is announced. He's had a very good game in his first big league game.
Well, he sure has, Brian. He got him a double in the 5th inning, first major league hit. Family's excited, and to get it off to a great start. And this is a big base hit right here. Got a base hit to right field to score Billy Butler. I think he's had 3 standing ovations tonight, I believe.
Not bad.
Not bad at all.
Some guys go their whole careers without a standing ovation. 1 ball, 1 strike.
He's got a real good approach to hitting. I mean, he has virtually no movement at all. I mean, he basically lets the ball travel. He's got a nice short swing, and he tries to hit the ball back through the middle, but not a lot of pre-pitch movement at all. Just gets a good base, good balance.
Almost hit him. And the Royals have really worked on his ability to go the other way. When he was in college, he was a middle-of-the-order hitter, a dead pull hitter. He was a power hitter despite his size, but to make it as a professional with a wooden bat and to get to this level, he needed to work the whole field. 3 balls, 1 strike. And both of his base hits tonight have been to the opposite field. With 2 outs.
You can only imagine how parents of a player feels when everything that player does gets a strong reaction from the crowd in a positive way.
Pretty good patience there. I mean, considering the situation, 2 outs in the bottom of the 9th inning, and still able to lay off the pitches out of the strike zone. And now it's Mike Moustakas, who drove in a run with a base hit last time up. And time had been called. Moustakas struck out and grounded out in his first 2 at-bats, making him 0 for 8, 0 for his last 8. And just 1 for 14 against the Tigers this year. But with 1 out in the 7th inning, he singled to right against lefty Phil Koch, which drove in the second of the 3 runs in the 7th.
Did a real good job just letting this ball travel and just stayed right inside it and didn't really get out front, let his hands do the work, and did a good job staying on that breaking ball and getting him a base hit and an RBI.
This is good news for the Royals and Mike Moustakas, perhaps. Daniel Schlereth appears to be more worried about Giavotella than he is the guy with a bat in his hands.
Giavottella's worked with Doug Sisson in the minor leagues and also in spring training, so this base running is not going to be anything new to him. He knows exactly what the Royals want to try to do.
Alex Avila might be sensing the same thing, and after that pitch missed badly, going to go out there and remind him that the only way Giavotella could win this game would be to steal second, steal third, and steal home. And those odds are very slim. So trying to get him back on track and focusing on the hitter.
Hey, just trying to get that delicate balance between controlling the running game and making good pitches, but your focus should always be on getting that hitter at the plate to do what you want him to do, and that'll take care of the base running.
Tomorrow's a 6:10 game. Danny Duffy against Justin Verlander, who is 15-5. 5:30 with Ivy Royals Live. And tomorrow is our This One's For You broadcast, as we'll be hooking up with the 548th Transportation Company of the Missouri National Guard in Afghanistan. So if you're coming out to the game tomorrow and you got an old bed sheet, why don't you make an encouraging sign that we can put on television tomorrow for our troops in Afghanistan. 1-1 to Moustakas. Just missed, and it's 2-1. 2-2.
Yeah, it looked like Moose was really guessing fastball inside right there, and then a curveball on the outer half. He opened up a lot faster than he normally wants to. So just with 2 strikes, just kind of let Slareth come at you. He's been really pretty much throwing the curveball to left-handers, and just try to stay back and trust your hands and try to hit the ball back through the middle.
Giavotella got a great jump. Avila won't even throw. So you can add a stolen base to his big league debut.
He didn't go first move either. Read it very well and got a good jump after it. Daniel Slareth got that leg to the highest point and walks into second base, and the pitch level of the crowd just went up again. Now this here is all for Moose right here. They want him to get it done right here in this at bat.
Down on strikes, so we will play extra innings. Tied at 3 at the end of 9. Beef jerky, feed your wild side. What a great night at Kauffman Stadium. A comfortable 89 degrees. The Royals coming back from a 3-0 deficit with 3 runs in the bottom of the 7th inning. Johnny Giavotella, making his big league debut, has been on base 3 times, drove in a run and scored a run in that inning. And the Royals are playing in their 17th extra inning game compared to the Tigers. They're just playing in their 4th. And more youth on the field tonight as Aaron Crow will pitch the 10th inning with Wilson Betemit, Austin Jackson, and Brendan Bosch coming up. Betemit is grounded out. He is doubled and walked. Tigers with 2 in the first, 1 in the 5th. The Royals getting all 3 of their runs in the 7th. One and one. Felipe Paulino went 6 2/3. He gave up the 3 runs. Lewis Coleman an inning and a third scoreless. Joakim Soria pitched a scoreless 9th. And now Aaron Crow, and he's 2 balls and 1 strike with Wilson Betemit. Tigers have just 1 hit since the 5th inning. And And that was a single from Maglio Ordonez. Three and one.
This is where a hitter like Wilson Betemit can be kind of dangerous because he can sit on a pitch and look for a fastball middle. Down a little bit. That's the ball he likes to drive.
He walks for the second straight plate appearance. And the Tigers are going to run for Betemit. And it's going to be Andy Dirks, who was born in Hutchinson, Kansas, and grew up in Burton, Kansas. Drafted by the Tigers out of Wichita State. Andy Dirks at first base with nobody out. And it's Austin Jackson at the plate. And Jackson shows bunt and he takes a strike. Dirks has 4 stolen bases. As far as Jackson bunting, he has 9 sacrifice bunts, and that leads the Tigers. Jackson strikes out a lot, so you wouldn't see him as a prototypical hit and run candidate.
Well, that is true, Ryan, on that one.
And he bunts it foul, and he's down 0-2.
Well, he's probably not the most proficient bunter either when you look at the approach that he used right there. And that's awful frustrating to a manager. You can tell just when Leland pushes his hat up on his head, he's like, man, what do I have to do? That's a look of I don't believe it.
And Jackson strikes out. And strikes out for the 121st time this year. So Crow comes back after the walk. And a runner at first with 1 out.
I guess it's tough when you get 2 strikes on you trying to bunt it. It's a backup breaking ball, backup curveball. When you say backup slider, is that when the ball wants to go to the opposite side, it just backs right back into the hitter. And the hitter wants to track it away from him. When it comes back into his swing, it's a much difficult pitch to hit.
So it's Brennan Bosch with 16 home runs. He has an RBI triple tonight. Pitch bounced way in front of the plate, and that's how Dirks gets to second base. So that kind of bails out Austin Jackson as the runner moves up. That thing landed at least a foot in front of home plate.
And that's difficult for Manny Pena to block also. It could have gone all the way back to the screen, 90 feet either way, but you see Pena did a great job sliding over and letting it hit in his chest area, but the momentum of it just took it too far down the first baseline, and Dirks was able to get into second base. But just to be able to block that hard breaking ball that far in front of the plate.
And now Bosch hits a ground ball up the middle and into center field. So Dirks is around third, and the Tigers take advantage of the walk and the wild pitch, and they lead 4-3 in the 10th.
This is a pitch to sort of set this inning up. It's just a breaking ball down in the dirt. Manny Pena blocked it, but couldn't prevent Dirks from getting to first base. And there's a two-seam fastball that Bosch hit right back through the middle, past Gio Vitella in the center field. And And Dirks came around and scored a go-ahead run.
And that pitch is in the dirt. Ball one to Don Kelly. He entered the game as a pinch runner for Maglio Ordonez in the 8th, so this is his first at bat. And Greg Holland now begins to throw behind Aaron Crow. Outside, 2 balls, no strikes. Don Kelly has 2 at bats against Aaron Crow. 1 hit, and it was a home run. Three balls and no strikes. And Ned Yost is very uncomfortable in the Royals dugout. He might be 1 pitch away from going to get Aaron Crow and bring Greg Holland in the game. And it's a walk on 4 pitches. And Ned Yost has seen enough. Greg Holland on to face Miguel Cabrera with 2 on, 1 out in the 10th. But 2 walks, a wild pitch, and an RBI single puts the Tigers in front in the 10th inning. So Greg Holland trying to hold the Tigers right here. He inherits 2 runners. Bosch at second base, Kelly at first, and he has to pitch to Miguel Cabrera. We told you when we first came on the air tonight that Tigers have 2 of the league's best hitters when it comes to batting average. Victor Martinez, who is 4th in the league. Miguel Cabrera is 7th. But those 2 have done very little against the Royals this year. And tonight, they're a combined 1 for 8 with an infield single. And that was from Miguel Cabrera in the 4th inning.
Well, good hitters always have that way of getting better with runners in scoring position, and Miguel Cabrera is never going to be an easy out.
Cabrera has faced Greg Holland 3 times, and he has a single. Two balls and no strikes. These were the numbers coming into tonight. The season averages, Martinez, that's the 4th best in the league. Cabrera is 7th best in the league, but this is what they've done against the Royals. And again, a combined 1 out of 8 tonight. Those two hitters are also two of the best in the American League with runners in scoring position. Good pitch in on the hands. Just ate him up, and Hosmer to the railing and doesn't quite have enough room.
You can see Eric, he feels the rail right there, and he reaches as far as he can reach. Oh, my goodness.
3 balls and 1 strike. Looked like he was expecting to be able to catch that ball palm up, where it might have had a little more reach with a backhand. Here are the league leaders, by the way, with runners in scoring position. Martinez the best. Cabrera is third, and those are the two hitters that Greg Holland is going to face unless he can get Cabrera to ground into a double play.
Well, you may be right, Ryan. On the backhand, when you stretch that far on the backhand, it's a matter of whether or not you can get your glove turned over far enough to allow the ball somewhere to go. But from the first time we saw the play, it didn't look like he had any glove on the ball. It happened so fast, but he was right there.
And a tough play. I mean, he's running hard, and he's got that railing that's coming up on him, and he's trying to concentrate on the ball. Cabrera, chance for a double play. Out at second, and it is a double play. So Holland gets the job done. The Tigers get one as we go to the bottom of the 10th. For Royals turning a double play with Miguel Cabrera at the plate.
Well, this is a tough one, Hopper. We really kind of made Escobar move back a couple steps, but you see right there, Giovatelli did a real good job turning this double play. Got on the side of the bag where the throw's coming from, made the throw to first, and jumped around the runner and not over the runner, which made that play look really, really nice. Good effort.
Don Kelly, who was in right field, will move to third base, and Andy Dirks, who ran for Betamete, will go into right. And here he is, the showman, Jose Valverde. Half of his performance is what he does when he delivers the pitch. The other half is what he does after the pitch. He is 30 for 30 in save opportunities this year. And a strike to Escobar. He thought that was inside. Here's the the before he gets to the mound routine. Spits to his right, spits to his left, spits to the middle, takes his hat off, and makes that impressive leap from the dirt up onto the grass.
How do you dream of things like that? I mean, that's time in the bullpen right there, trying to figure out a way to enter the game.
Escobar tied the game with a single to center in the Royals' 3-run seventh. He is 1 for 3. Line to right, Dirks is coming up. He was already shallow, so pretty good scouting there. And one away. The Detroit Tigers this year, when they have the lead after 7 innings, they are 49-0. So they've been perfect with the lead in the 8th and 9th innings. In the 7th inning tonight, the Royals tied the game at 3. Now Brian Pena is going to bat for Manny Pena. Brian doesn't have impressive numbers as a pinch hitter, but he did have perfect numbers against Valverde before Carlos Guillen made that great play. We were talking about his lack of range earlier in the game, and Brian Pena had been 3 for 3 against Valverde.
Gets a good fastball and turns on it, and Guillen made an outstanding play going to his left. Brian Pena does a good job putting a bat on the ball, and Carlos Guillen does a great job stabbing that line drive to his left. 1, 2, 3, reach.
And now strike to Alex Gordon. Alex 1 out of 4 tonight and 1 out of 4 against Jose Valverde. Oh, and 2. Broke his bat. Peralta charges. And the Tigers take game 1. They win 4-3 in 10 innings. We'll be right back.